In this video tutorial, we'll demonstrate how to deploy Docker containers with Cycleops, using the built-in stack. After completing the steps outlined here, you'll have an NGINX Docker container up and running on your server. Before we start with the deployment setup, please make sure you have at least one server registered with Cycleops. For more information, please refer to our other video tutorials, add host using the command or add host using the form. With Cycleops, the installation and configuration of Docker are modeled in a template we refer to as stack. Check on the list of available stacks by selecting Stacks from the left sidebar. Click on a Docker Containers stack to view the details associated within it. You see here the stack is composed of the following units: Docker Container and Docker CE. These Cycleops units automate the tasks to install and configure the components required for a successful deployment using Docker. Next, check on the list of available services. Click on each one of the listed items to view the details of the default configuration settings that are shipped with Cycleops. As a last step, go to Stacks list and click on the Create Setup button next to the Default Containers item. In the form, you can see the stack named Default Containers is already selected. In the Services section of the form, simply select Docker Container Default and in the next filed Docker CE Default. Enter the desired name for your setup and press the Add Host button to continue. In the second part of the form, select the environment that your host belongs to. For this case, we see the default environment with the name that contains the account name in the second part. Select the deployment target from the drop-down list with hosts and host groups. Click on Create button and you'll be redirected to the setup list, where you can see your newly created setup. Click on the Deploy button to start the automated deployment process. You can follow through the steps executed by clicking on the Console button. The deployment process should be completed after a few minutes, and the status of the respective setup in the list changes to Deployed. Congratulations! This means that everything is set up and working on your server. Finally, you can use your web browser to navigate to the IP address of the server you used as deployment target host, where you should see the sample web page served by NGINX running on your self-hosted server.